This is a peaceful platform, so save the drama for your mama. The ones that are loud are promoting hate, fear, and violence, not being afraid to stand up and give messages of doom and gloom. Yet the ones who are wise are sitting back in fear and intimidation, being silenced. That changes now. And we are live. This is Triumph, a TDTV original. Ow!
Yes, God, honey. Ow! Alvin! Yes. Okay, y'all. Very first episode with the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Alvin Linnell Ward the second.
Thank you, friend.
Y'all, me and Alvin have been friends. What'd you say, Alvin?
I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, I'm excited for you to be here as well. This is 17 years in the making, and I'm just so thankful that God put an amazing person like Alvin in my life to look up to, and just to watch evolve over the past 17 years. So today we are going to kick this series off, Triumph with Alvin, and just talk about some things of the past, where we are now, what our future goals are, and maybe give a little bit of inspiration out there to the viewers watching, for some good soul cleansing that we all need from time to time. So Alvin, the other day you called me and you gave me some really exciting news. Can you share with the people what that news was that you shared with me?
I was really happy to call you to tell you that I am moving to Houston and finally getting away from my hometown to accept a position at NASA. And I was really excited to call you and tell you about it, because I know that you and I had talked so much, like, for years, like, about me moving away and starting anew, being around new people, new environment, new city, new state, and just really honestly just knew everything of me being on my own. So I knew that you would be happy for me, because we had had previous discussions about that. We've both been through a lot in our lives, and I knew that you would understand why I felt like this was the perfect time for me to do it. So that's why I called you.
Mm-hmm. I literally, that phone call changed the whole trajectory of my day. Let me tell you, I know that you have been wanting to move away and kind of, just venture off and do your own things, but it seems as if everything worked out in perfect timing, and this is like the exact right time that everything should pop off. So I'm so happy to see not only you be in a successful place going into this new chapter of your life, but to know, like, what it took to get here. Like, it took a lot. And I've known you from the high school era of our lives, and just to watch the transformation you have done is literally breathtaking. Like, can you explain to the people a little bit about your history and, like, what you've done? Because the name says it all, baby. The name says it all. Dr. Alvin L. Ward. Can you take us down a trip on memory lane?
Yeah, so I'm 33. I'll actually be 34 in May. I'm originally from Cleveland, Mississippi, where I currently am right now before I move. And started off and went to high school, Cleveland High School, which actually no longer exists because they consolidated the two high schools here in my home.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah, it's gone.
I never even knew that.
Eastside no longer exists, as well as Cleveland High no longer exists.
So it's all one thing.
Yeah, it's all Cleveland consolidated school district now. So
wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, Central Middle School, Cleveland Central High School. Yeah, so it's pretty much.
Is that better? Did you say that's better, or?
I think so. There was a lady that actually she contacted the Mississippi Department of Education back in a long time ago. I think before I was born, and she talked about how she felt like that the school would be better for the students and the community if they were to combine them, but they never actually took action on the advice that she had given until 2018. I believe 2018 was the last graduating class for Cleveland High School and for Eastside High School. So they kind of ended then. So that's when they decided to consolidate everything. Like, so everything's different, new mascot, new school colors, everything's different. So I think it has been better because like I think that it made the school like kind of like have no choice but to be great because this is all you have now. Like you don't have the choice to go to another school. So I think that they're like 4A now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh wow.
The size, like so the band is bigger, the
Wow.
athletic team is bigger, and they're able to offer, like I think better, education now because of that. So I think it could be beneficial to them, in a sense. But of course, people who are from here, they still have that tradition in mind of, oh, I went to Cleveland High or I went to East Side. And I guess they just kind of missed that a little bit. But the thing about it is that those two schools still celebrate homecoming each year on their own. So the alumni, and they still enjoy. But yeah, so
fair. I mean, I get that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so like back when you were fresh out of high school, like I know that you went on just a journey to become who you are today. Like on that journey, I remember there were lots of highs and lows that we, discussed throughout time. But in all, it like the way it all ended up happening, and you being so educated and just well-rounded, can you tell us about like just the different things you had to overcome during this time to truly triumph over who you once were into who you are now?
I think so. Let's go back. Let's go back to like when I first met you. When I first met you, because I'm 2 years older than you.
Yep.
I believe. Yeah, 2 years older than you. So when you and I met, I don't know, my grandmother had not yet passed away. So when she passed away, that was 2004, 4th of July. So that was a huge pitfall in my life. And it really, really honestly changed my perspective about life and living and having to overcome death and having to overcome things that are inevitable, such as death. Because I had never, besides my grandfather who passed away in 2001, I had never like really experienced like a person like near and dear to me that lived in the home with me passing away. And so like that really, really affected, how I performed at school. It really affected how I carried myself, and it even got to a point to where I felt like I was dumb. I knew I wasn't, but I got to a point where I felt like, why am I here? Like, I'm not doing well in school. My grandmother's gone, my grandfather's gone, and then literally that same year, my father died as well. So that was my father and my uncle. So I had three deaths, three major deaths that hit my family within that year, and that was really, really tough for me. So that kind of took a bearing on like my confidence and my attitude and how I acted and how I performed, just in life, not even just in school, but just as being just a regular person. Because like you have to think about it, like I'm 14 years old, I'm a child. My mom is going through stuff, as far as employment is concerned, like her jobs are fluctuating, so that was tough too. And and it took a lot to go through that because coming from my grandparents being like the people who kind of like spoiled me and my mom. Like my mom, she never really had to want for anything when she was a child, and I didn't either, up until they passed away. So that kind of like taught me of what it's like to have and what it's like not to have, so that I can be able to understand I guess how to maneuver through life when you do have something, how to appreciate things. So I'm thankful for all of that. I didn't understand that back then, but I get that now. So that kind of affected me a whole lot. I thought I wasn't going to graduate from high school on time. I remember one of my teachers told me, and I'll never forget that because I use it as motivation. I remember she told me I failed. I think it was I can't remember what the name of the math class was, but I failed the class. And so I still had the book. So I had to retake her class the next semester. And so when I got there, she was like, well, I'm sure you still have your book, being that you failed, and I'm just like, this woman says this out loud, about me, in front of all these people, in front of my peers, that's embarrassing,
That is
So
embarrassing.
I used that, Taji, as motivation to help me to get to where I am now. So once I hit like my junior year, it was upward after that. Like as far as school was concerned, it was upward after that because graduated on time, class 2008. I ended up going to Kahoma Community College in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Best decision I could have ever made. So many people were like, oh, why would you want to go to a community college? And community colleges looked at this, blah, blah, blah. Everybody had all these, long, drawn out opinions about it, but I had to do what was best for Alvin. So I didn't want to, put too much on myself, being that I was just getting back to where I needed to be. I was gaining my confidence back. I was realizing that, no, you're not dumb. You're just going through some stuff, and that's just life. And so once I went to Kahoma, I was most featured in the yearbook. I was presidential scholar each year. They actually called me back in April of 2022 to come back and speak to the Presidential Scholars Program. Did that. And then after that, I ended up going to Delta State University, which is in Cleveland, Mississippi, here where I live. And, did well there. Got my bachelor's degree, got my master's degree in 1 year. And then went straight into my doctoral program. And then even after I got my doctorate, I ended up getting an educational specialist from Nova Southeastern University, as well as my master of teacher education and educational leadership. So,
baby, pause. I have chills over here. I'm like, woo! Like, wow, Alvin. Like, for a minute, I'm listening. I'm just. I know we're like on this interview, but like, I just phased out for a minute. I'm just like, wow, what a beautiful story. Like, you did that. You did that, baby. You did that, darling. So, anybody who's listening right now, and I'm gonna let Alvin finish soon, but I just had to stop really quick and let anybody know that don't you dare ever sit there in despair and let those situations in life hold you, because as you can see through what Alvin is testifying right now, that your journey is what you make it, and the perseverance that you have shown. And I've known you through all of these phases too, because I can remember, different phone calls that we've had. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So keep going. Sorry, no.
But yeah, did well in my education. And then I started off as far as like my working, just me working and having a job is concerned, my career. I started off in public administration. I was the city clerk and director of accounting for a very small municipality here in Mississippi. And I did that from 2014, because let's roll back for a second.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I think that there is a misconception about is getting a job after getting the education. That's another job on top of that.
Right.
Already you getting your education is a job, but you actually finding employment after finishing your education is another job. And you really have to like dedicate time to that, and I didn't realize that. And college does not guarantee you a job. Just because you have a degree does not guarantee you a job. You have to put forth the effort to find a job. And sometimes you have to accept things that you may not necessarily like or want to do until you're able to find, that job that you really have been dreaming of, or that goal that you have in mind. So right. I started off, I worked at Delta State, the school I went to. I worked at Delta State in the career services department for like a few months. And I was like, have you ever like done something that you feel like you were in the Twilight Zone? That's how I felt. Like every day I was looking around like, is this real life? Like, that's why I was asking myself. And my mom was like, she's like, well, if you don't like it, she was like, you don't have to do it. She was like, you can, just come home until you figure out what it is that you want to do. So that's what I did. I was like, I can't do this. So I ended up getting a job in public administration. So that was, I have to say, the hardest job I've ever had in my life. Primarily because it's a small municipality. I had to basically train myself, on how to do stuff. Like I didn't know anything about accounting. I didn't know anything about recording minutes at a board meeting and making sure that everything was correct, and doing you know, doing payroll. And I didn't know about all that stuff. I didn't know. And then I was 24, supervising like 15 people. Like that was hard
Yeah.
for me. That was new. So, and then like, we would have, citizens come in to, get information on stuff, and they would, oh my God, they would talk to me in such a disparaging tone because I was young, and because they felt like, well, why is he here? He's young,
Right.
but I did well. I did well. It took a minute for me to kind of grasp everything because it was a lot, but I ended up doing well. And then after that, I started working at Mississippi Valley State University. I worked there from 2016 up until last year. So I've served as a coordinator for instructional technology. I've served as an online learning technologist. And then once I got my PhD in 2017, I started teaching organizational management part-time up until I started teaching full-time. I was a full-time assistant professor of business, so in the Department of Business Administration. So did that, loved it, loved being able to pour over into the students and being able to use my situations and things that I had gone through in my life to be able to uplift them and to motivate them and encourage them and let them know, well, if I can come from this, if I can come from, feeling low and losing people in my life, that I can never get back, and not doing well in high school, almost not graduating, teachers telling me that, seeing that you're failing, to me having more education that they probably could ever dream of, and then becoming a professor, a college professor, and had you told 14-year-old me, it's gonna be okay, just wait, you just have no idea what's coming, I wouldn't believe it, because
Mm-hmm.
you can't see the future when you're in the midst of a storm. You
Right.
can't see the sunlight coming in the midst of that storm. So that's how I got here. Just trials and tribulations, using negativity as motivation. And it's funny because I talk about that in my song. I use negativity as motivation, and I learned that when people say negative things, you hate, or say hate, or use hate speech to try to pull you down, that is just literally them letting you know I'm going through something as well, and I feel less than. So I feel like I have to pull you down to make myself feel better, and they don't realize that until it's too late. So I have been through a lot, but all of that is literally the sum total of who I am today. And I'm thankful for every experience.
You just took
So
me on a whirlwind of like emotions, and just it's so it's so like beautiful to watch you be so confident and like just know who you are, and know that you put in your time, and not only are you successful, but you give back to others by motivating them and building them up along the way. So that's what it's
you
about.
helped me with
And
that.
you said what?
You helped me with that too.
Oh, thank
I'll
you.
never forget, somebody, I can't remember, somebody said something to me, and I think I mentioned this to you when I was in LA when we hung out. Um, I don't know what it was somebody said, but you were like, bitch, like don't let that, like don't let them, talk to you in a kind of way. Like, you gotta let them know who you are. That's when we were in our New York, our Tiffany Pollard era. We
Period.
thought we were her, like we used to love her, and she helped me too. Just seeing how confident she was. She was crazy, but just seeing how confident she was, I'm
Yes.
like, forget them people. Like, they don't know you. They don't know what you're capable of.
Right.
And now all those people that hated me want to be my friends. So that's
Amen.
funny to me.
Amen. And me and Alvin have, I've been all over the place, but you know, I know when I was living out in Cali for 6 years, we linked up there, had a good
Mhm.
time. Then when I came back to Memphis this past year, when I went home for the holidays, Alvin showed up, came and got me from my mom's house, took me out to dinner. We ended up going to downtown, and just completely showed what it was like to have a true friend in your life that would drive 2 hours, come get you, pay for your food, take you back home, then drive 2 hours back. And, it just was, it was at a time where I needed that love anyways. But just to have people in your life like that is truly a blessing. So that's why I wanted Alvin to be first on my Triumph series and really show a true testimony of somebody who actually has triumphed over the obstacles in life. So now we're here. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now we are here, 2024. So much more in store. What are your goals for the future and in your days ahead? Because the move is coming soon, and just let us know where you're at with that mentally.
So, of course, anytime like you're making like a major life change, it's always gonna be, you're gonna be in your head with it. So I've kind of tried to just knock out any of like of the like negative thoughts that I, you know, how you have those moments of self doubt. I have to
Absolutely.
erase that. I have to erase that because I know that I have a purpose. I know that God has allowed me to, get this job to be able to move and be better and become more, self-sufficient and, because, living at home, with my mom, like I have enjoyed it, so much because she and I are very, very close, but I think that it's time that I step out on my own and be able to, have my own experiences and have my own place and be able to decorate it how I want it to be and, and just do things that make me happy and meet new people and network. Because I feel like, I've been here my entire life. So it's almost like I can't go anywhere without seeing somebody that I already know. I want to go somewhere where I meet new people, where I'm able to make new connections, make new friends, be able to make possibly even meet people I can partner with for business in the future.
Absolutely.
So I'm just really excited about that. So my goal is to just kind of focus on me, which I've done that a whole lot. I feel like I've kind of got off of social media. I've been off since October. Facebook and Snapchat, but I still have Instagram because there's a lot of inspiration that I get from Instagram and the people that I
Right, and
follow.
it's a lot of pictures, so it's different,
Absolutely. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's much different. It's much different, and I feel like it's less chaotic. It's less drama filled. It's just more so people just living their lives and and they're just documenting it, via photos and videos. So just seeing other people that kind of inspired me a little bit. So my goal is just to continue to focus on me, pour over into myself because I feel like for so much of my life I have poured over into other people and I may not necessarily have gotten that back in return. Maybe it wasn't reciprocated. So I feel like it's time to pour over into Alvin, do the things that Alvin wants to do the things that makes Alvin happy, and just still, kind of maintain like a level-headed mindset, just along the way. So
Wow.
I started my virtual call center back in December. So synergeticcommunications.com. So I want to help people, get work from home jobs and allow them to be able to design their own life, by being able to not have to physically go to work to a 9 to 5. So I want to continue to pour over into that, and just have fun. That's my goal. That's my goal for
You
this year.
are that. You are that. You are that. And I'm so honored to be your okay.
Oh my
um
god, people don't know how crazy we are. They really don't.
oh they
They
y'all
have no idea.
y'all we go just
Mm,
the inside jokes for days, memories
yes,
for days. Like
for
it
days.
we're gonna have to follow up in like maybe at a couple months or so just to see how you're liking the move and see how things are going for you and just keep everybody afloat on your journey because it's such a inspiring inspiring movement that you're making because you are going along a path that is so unwritten. Like it's every
For sure,
step you
for sure.
take is a new journey and a new endeavor. And I think that people can learn from this that just because maybe one thing is great in one season of your life doesn't mean that that's the end all be all. Like you can that can end and you can go into something else and you can be great there as well.
Yeah,
So
so true.
um
So
one last thing before we finish up. You said something about your faith. Let people know a little bit about your faith. Where do you stand in terms of how you believe in what just let us know about your faith.
you know, um, growing up, um, I always was a very confident child. I always believed in myself. But I think that, along the way, I kind of lost that a little bit, especially like when I started going through those things that I went through in high school, like with losing my grandparents and not doing well in school and things like that, things that'll make you feel less than. But now, as a 33-year-old adult, oh, my faith is unwavering. It's unwavering. I know that there's nothing that I can't do as long as I believe in myself. No matter what no one else says, they may not believe that you can do it, but as long as you believe that you can, that's all that matters. And I'm so thankful and I feel blessed for the experiences that I have had, because that has poured over into my faith and allowed me to understand that, things may not happen when you specifically want them to, but they're going to happen when they're supposed to. And a lot of times when we have certain goals, we want the things, but we may not necessarily be, ready for those mentally, emotionally, sometimes even physically. We may not necessarily be, ready for those things. So you have to be prepared in all walks of your life for the goals that you have. Because I'm going to quote Tabitha Brown. She said that a dream is something that God plants in your heart. A goal is something that you plant in your mind, something that you just want to do. So there's a complete difference. So any dream that I have, I know that God placed it there for a reason, because the dreams are the things that you can't stop thinking about. The dreams are the things that keep you up at night. The dreams are the things that will literally sit and make you cry when you think about them, because they probably scare the shit out of you. And I'm a personal believer that if whatever dream it is that you have, if it does not literally scare the shit out of you and keep you up at night, it's probably not big enough. And it's probably really not what you really think it is. So that would more so be like a goal. So the dreams are the things that I focus on the most. And my faith is so strong in that area that I know whatever dream I have is going to come to pass at some point.
Because God gave it to you. God is good. And I'm
Absolutely.
thankful that God brought us together through just a funny phone call. I remember that night like it was yesterday. And that song you sang, Walk Into the Light, is so prevalent even right now, because
Absolutely.
every moment that we get another opportunity to push forward in our lives, walk into that light, walk into the direction of light, not darkness, walk into that light of being your best self, and just overcoming all of the darkness and the negative thoughts and the low moments where we had low self-esteem and no self-esteem at that. Walk into the light. And I'm so thankful that I have got to be a part of your journey, and I'm so excited to see you thrive and walk into the next light in your amazing life.
Thank you. Let's see. Well, how was it? Walking in the light.
Walking into the light.
When I tell you, like, sometimes I just randomly, I can be driving and I'll just randomly think about that moment, and I'll just like start dying laughing. I'm sure people probably look at me in traffic like, "What the hell is wrong with him?" It's like, baby, I have no idea. I swear.
Walking into the light.
Okay. Not knowing that was gonna actually be prevalent, in our lives today.
Exactly.
Think about let's see, what were you like when you met me? I think you were 14.
Young, crazy.
Yeah. And we didn't know that we were, it was gonna end up this way. What I'm saying? We didn't know what life, looked like, or was gonna look like. Because I remember, do you remember that time? I don't know if you want me to mention this or not, but I'm going to. Do you remember when you called me? I'm not going to mention who the person was, but somebody was talking about, you being involved in dance and how, you knew that was your dream and that's what you wanted to do. The person was trying to basically tell you like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that because you're a boy and blah, blah, blah. And I cussed you out. I was like, bitch, don't you let them, do you like that. Like, this is what you love. This is what you are good at. And look how far it has taken you, Taji.
World champion. I know.
I had to mention that. But like, look how far it has taken you. Like, you have been all over the world, and I have a passport and I haven't even used it. But you've been all over the world. You've been. I remember one time I texted you. I was like, what are you doing? Do you have time to talk? He was like, oh, bitch, I'm in Australia. And I'm like, oh, okay, period. So I feel like we both have gone through a whole lot. With people trying to, size us down for us to be small. And I feel like we both have overcome that in so many ways.
Right.
And I just think that I'm thankful for our friendship. I'm thankful for our love. And how we don't even have to talk every day. We cannot have talk for months. But when we do talk, it's just like we just talked the day before.
Exactly.
Almost. We catch up where we left off the last
Exactly.
time. And I love that about our friendship. I really
Me too.
One
One last thing before we go. If there is one message you had to give to the world, who Alvin Linnell Ward is, and just your message, your motto, what would you say to the world if you got one statement to give to everybody?
If I had one statement to give to the world, of course, it's going to be something encouraging and motivating. I would say never allow the opinions of others about you stop you from reaching your dreams and your goals. Whatever it is that you want to do, go out there and do it. I don't care how big it may seem. Nothing is too big for God. Okay. So whatever it is that you want to do it. Don't listen to the naysayers. Use that as motivation. So just like how you go to the gas station and you put that nozzle in your car and you fill it with gas, fill yourself with all that negativity and use it as fuel to move you forward. That's what I would say.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, we're going to wrap this up here pretty soon. Alvin's still on the line right after I hang up. We'll finish out our conversation there. And to everybody watching, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person Alvin is. So if you can, I'll post his info below. You can follow him on his Instagram, and just we'll catch back up later on and follow up with this interview to see how life is treating you in Houston.
Thank you, friend.
All righty. Well, that's it for today, y'all. Thank you for watching, and we will be back with more later on.
Do me a quick favor and go ahead and hit subscribe and like, because you know that video was fire. Be on the lookout for the next episode of Triumph, and thank you for watching.